What's up, everybody? It's nearly 100 degrees outside, and for whatever reason, I just decided to do this outside. So you can see the title. It says, God, I don't even know what it says. Okay, Gear Talk Episode 2. This is about experience. So I'm going to share with you exactly how I ended up progressing from this weak noob back in 2012 to where I am now, which is making YouTube videos, showing you guys my gameplay, my fighting style and everything, and going to all these different fields. So, it's really nothing news to everyone. I feel like it's self-explanatory. But as far as my experience goes, it takes a lot of time to learn how to get familiar with Airsoft, how to play the game, different fields, and the way that you set up your gear and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and start from the beginning in 2012. God. Okay, back in 2011, around that area, I was just a kid in middle school, and I thought guns were amazing. They're pretty cool, pretty fun to play around with. And I started out playing first. Well, I really hated to play paintball because I didn't like getting hit with paintballs. So I was generally that kid that stayed back in the back fort throughout the whole game. And then I got outside of that, and then somebody suggested that I play Airsoft. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool. I could probably get into that. So I gave it a try. And my first field that I ever played at was Blagger Airsoft, which is now owned by DV8. That is in Lithia. It's in Lithia now, Lithia, Florida. I gotta say, I sucked. I really sucked playing Airsoft back then. I had a SEMA AK with a folding stock, and the RAS, whatever it was, handguard, the RIS handguard, and a non-blowback CO2 HK USP. And that was really it. And I would be one of those people that would run out on the field in open space and get mowed down by like a saw M249 or whatever. But, I learned from that, and I keep learning because I went to these different fields. I'm a military kid, so I would go from playing at fields in Florida, and I went to California. I went to Hawaii for a time. Then I went back to Florida. Started playing in fields in Alabama, Georgia, and then Tennessee. So with all that, with all of those states, I gained a lot of experience because those were a lot of fields to play at. And they all offer different things. You'll have indoor CQB, you'll have outdoor CQB, you'll have outdoor fields. And it's a grandiose of elements because you don't know whether or not your environment is going to be close quarters, if it's going to be dark, if there's going to be a lot of cover to run from, and just a bunch of different things, really. So the way that I learned it is, I took time and I went to these fields a little bit more often. I would say maybe going to these fields 3 or more times to get familiar with how to play at these fields, and especially how to build up that experience playing in situations or in scenarios like that. If I was playing at CQB, actually, I'll tell you this. I played at, it's going to take me some time because it's been years since I played at these fields. I played at CQB City. I've played at Raven Airsoft, which is somewhere south of, actually, I might have the name of that wrong, but it's south of Fresno. Slaughterhouse. I think that's what it is, Slaughterhouse. And then I also played at, no, stag's the wrong word. OPOC is what they called it. And those were all CQB fields, and it taught me a bunch of different things. In fact, I've learned that a flashlight might work in my case, because having that split second advantage of disorienting your players with the flashlight gives you the upper hand when you're cutting corners. Sorry, I got back from work and I'm drinking protein. As far as fields go, if we're talking like hilly and open areas, that's when I really kind of rely on fighting with bigger groups. Because if it's one of those situations where you're out there in the open and people are shooting at you, you want to have a nice element. Probably have like maybe 2 people lay down cover fire while you have 4 people push up on the enemy position, lay down cover fire, so that that second that tongue twisting that 2-person element can move up and then go back and forth, so that way you can take out that enemy position. I learned how to get familiar with fighting from cover to cover. All it takes is making sure that you can get to a piece of cover that offers really good cover, and know which cover gives you a really good angle on your opponent. And one of the things that you really want to stay away from is staying in one piece of cover for too long. Because the thing about that is, if that person can lay down fire, or if that person has another teammate that can lay down fire and just bomb rush you, then that's a bad experience to have, because you're not going to be in that fight for too long. So, make sure you don't stay in cover for a long period of time, and just keep moving. That's really about it. I realize that a lot of people are disadvantaged when it comes to being able to go out to fields in Texas or California or somewhere out of state and being able to go to different fields. I'm not going to ask you to do stuff like that, but whenever you have the opportunity, I think it would be a great experience for you to kind of branch out and go play at different airsoft fields, because you may never know. It'll help you build your airsoft experience, as it has for me. It's taken me 7 years. It's taken me 7 years to get to where I am now. And, you guys can see it in my videos. The way that I fight was brought up by going to these different fields and learning more about how to fight in those environments. That's really about it. All right. I think that's about it. That's really all I have to talk about. So I'm going to cut you guys loose. See you next time. Deuces.